Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, my lovely wife, Kara. You already know where she's at. Man, this knife, man, this Evo. Pretty sick, guys. Pretty sick. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love with a knife. Not too many knives do that to me, but this is definitely one of them. I'm telling you, man, this thing's insane. How's everybody doing today, tonight? Seems logical. I seen your comment about Kara sharpening, and you said something about something in a video reminded you or something like that. What video are you talking about? I got a bunch of topics I want to talk about, so we might as well start this beast off with talking about the old Slysz Bowie. I just seen a couple people posting some of the screenshots of like eBay or something. There's already scalpers on there. There was one for $4,000. $4,000. Another one was $1,000. Kiefer was joking around and posted one for 3,500. I thought that was hilarious. I told him I had the rarest Dalica to trade him straight up, but I needed an extra $50. But yeah, the new Spyderco Slysz Bowie. I know it's sold out really quick, so whoever was trying to get one, don't worry. I'm sure they'll have another drop. So if you missed out, I'm saying, I'm sure a lot of you were able to get them because you guys know how it goes. And if you didn't get it quick, it wasn't going to happen. But it is a great knife, guys. I mean, I love mine. I was just actually talking about it a little bit ago. It's a knife that's very easy to carry. If you know your collection, you know how you have, regardless, however many knives you have, you'll have those knives in your collection that are just easy to grab, easy to carry. You'll have 20 knives, and it just seems like there's a few of them. Is that Bama knife guy in here? Holy shit, from the grave. What's up, bud? How you doing? Haven't heard from you in a minute. Um, someone on Lindy Lou says someone on Reddit said that it took about 13 minutes to sell out. Yeah, I believe it. And I said that in the video I posted earlier that they're gonna sell out. Scalpers are gonna get them because there's gonna be people like me, right? If I wanted to get 3 of them or 5 of them, how easy that would be. I'd have Kara get one, I'd get one, the neighbor get one, my buddy at work get one, and I just pay for them all. So it's not that hard to do that. Uh Kara, she's playing fucking Call of Duty, man. She's sniping motherfuckers. Well, not actually sniping, but you know what I mean. I had the Showstopper says I had the chance to buy one, but I passed on it. Wish they were a little bigger. Really, I really like the size of them, and the big version would be like what is that, the K2 or something? I forget the name of it. That Spyderco does. It's just like this, but a gigantic one. Bama Knife Guy's got one. He loves it. To me, this is a perfect EDC size. And like I was just saying, it's kind of like you'll have 20 knives or however many knives you have. And there's some knives on that, the list of knives you'll have for EDC that you like to carry and you love them to death. But they're not that knife that you just put in your pocket, and you don't care. Like, it's kind of like those knives that it doesn't matter what I run into today. This will be a good knife. It's going to carry well. It's going to be nice to my pocket, meaning like the clip. I think about that a lot lately. I need to get some new pants because they're fucking my pants up carrying all these knives, especially all the ones with shitty clips. But and the geometry's good on it. It's just a good knife, and it's that kind of knife. It's the kind of knife that you tend to like to grab and put in your pocket. Like, if I didn't have to review so many knives, it definitely would wind up in my pocket way more than it does. And to be honest, it still winds up in my pocket a lot. And I'm trying to be careful with it because I definitely don't want to treat it like don't get me wrong. I however I need to use a knife whatever knife I have, that's what I'm using. If it's somebody else's and I'm reviewing it, maybe not. But for my knives, I'm gonna use it if that's the knife I got. But I try not to mess it up too much. It still has the factory edge, which is incredible because it's stupid sharp still. And I said this in the review that this was a very, very well done factory edge. It's not very often you see a factory edge done that good to where it's not burnt. It's very sharp. The angle's good. Literally, the angle that they put it on from the factory was done really, really good. Fuck it up, dog. Come on. Man, if you've seen my review, man, I was chopping trees with it, literally, and it's still fucking good, man. The edge is just held up. I think I might have honed it and stropped. I've stropped it a bunch of times, but I've definitely honed it, I think, once. My pockets are fine, but that's because I mainly carry two hinders, and those clips are amazing. That's the kind of clips I'm talking about too. Like when you get a knife that you like say your two carries, it's easy for you to grab. You know what knives you're going to carry. It works out. When you have like a whole shit ton of knives, there's going to be those couple knives that just every time you look at the table, it's that knife. It's one of those five that just stick out and they just want to be carried constantly. That's the way the Bowie is. The Slysz Bowie is a glorified Spidey chef. Yeah, it's great and all, but I would never spend that much money for one. I've handled two of them and they're good, but nothing special. Yeah, and I agree with you because I think let me be clear. I think there's something special as regards to it being a good knife. Do I think it's worth that much money? I don't know. I didn't buy this one. This one was a gift, and I'm very, very thankful for it. I love it. I if I had the money, to spend on it and I was looking at a knife, it's definitely not a knife I wouldn't buy. Saying that after having one and carrying it and using it, I love it, man. I like it a lot. So I can't blame anybody for spending that money. Now, the other money, like the scalper money, no. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your own money. If you fucking want to spend $1,000 on a Slysz Bowie, go ahead. But right now, it's stupid to do that because they're gonna drop more. Just wait, and you'll get one. If you were one of the people that didn't know they were gonna come out with another batch like last year, and you spent $500 or $600, whatever, man, good for you. As long as you're happy with the knife. But because that's the thing too, right? It's like if you spend $500 on a knife and you don't like it, that's one thing. This is a knife I personally love a lot. Mark says TwoSun's TS129 or Finch Holiday for a gift. I like the 129. I haven't tried the Finch Holiday, but I like the 129. It's forbidden fruit. Everyone just wants what they can't have. Yeah, and that's what I was saying in my video earlier. Shit. In my video earlier was that that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons. It was kind of like a collector's piece. And I remember me and Bama, this was when they stopped selling them. I know Bama remembers this. It was like overnight when they stopped selling them or when they discontinued it. It was almost as if the community like just exploded in wanting one now. It's like it's kind of one of those things. Now I think everybody that knew that they were good wanted one in the future, but just not yet. It was like kind of one of those knives where you're like, when I get the money or maybe my next knife purchase, then they were gone. And then everybody was like, upset and furious and trying to get them. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Bam, I remember me and him were like on the phone. We talked about it a couple times. When the fuck you putting the comments up on the screen? Like, I got StreamYard, bro. Big time. We're big time over here at Neeves Knives now. We just click at a button. Click at the button. Speaking of TwoSuns, how is their M390? Okay, so I think it's doing better and better as time goes on. I don't think it's like great. I don't think it's bad. I would say it's in the S30V range of edge retention, but you're still going to get the good corrosion resistance of M390. Now, the question is, are you getting what you pay for, in my opinion? Now, so if I buy a $300 knife and it's M390, I expect it to be well done M390. If I'm paying $100 or $150 for a titanium fit and finish, almost as good as Reat, we quality, good geometry, cage ceramic bearings that are rolling on a racetrack, reverse detent ramps, like just all the bells and whistles. Um, I mean, how much can you really bitch? Because let's say that M390 was S30V, like you'd still pay that price. That price, it's not like it wouldn't be worth it now, or that, you know what I mean? Like you're getting the same. I've always gotten better edge retention than S30V. I'm just saying, like let's say the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, you get S30V performance from edge retention. You're still getting the good corrosion resistance. So you're still getting what you pay for, in my opinion. The M390, no, it's not as good as other companies for their heat treat. Now, I do think they're doing better and better. Sorry if I'm screaming, guys, but I do think they're doing better and better. I think it's just one of those things like that. Like every company, I mean, I can't think of one company that came out with M390 and wasn't doing a shit job with it when they first started. TwoSun's been using it for, I don't know, 2 years or something, but they really started using it like a year ago. They had it two years ago, but only on a couple knives. They weren't really using it mainstream. Now they're actually using it mainstream, and I think they've gotten the information that it's being ran soft, that it needs to be ran a little harder. So we'll see how it keeps going. Hitting that like button is good for your health. Yeah, I heard that hitting the like button actually gives you a couple of years of life. What's going on? Todd says, yeah, I was wondering because the price is so low, probably gonna pull the trigger. Yeah, I honestly, I've never gotten one, whether it was S90V or M390, and thought I wasted my money. Never. As long as you like the design. Like they have so many designs that there's one there for you. And you're gonna get the fit, the finish, the action, all that. The good titanium, you're gonna get all that. Now, if you get their 14C28N, that's done very well. Their 14C is really good. Their 12C27 is really good. The only thing is their excuse me, their S90V and M390, and it's not that bad. I mean, it's not great. Like there's some companies out there doing the same exact thing. So it's not like they're the only ones. Like, oh, TwoSun's the only one. Fucking majority of companies running M390 are doing the same shit. There's a couple that are doing it really good though, and they make them look bad because they're doing it so good, which my hat's off to them because that's what we want. Bama says, look at Steve's early vids on M390 Edge performance. It was shit. Exactly. Exactly. Bama Knife Guy's talking about Super Steel Steve. Super Steel Steve. You guys seen him on one of my podcasts, or I guess I could call it a podcast, but one of my lives. He did tons of not even just M390, like all kinds of steel edge retention, and M390 was like the hot topic at the time. And he did multiple different companies. I think he even versed companies. He did a lot of them, but it really showed that we weren't getting what we were paying for, because the whole point was that, oh, you're paying a premium for the better edge retention for the M390. Then when they found out that I'm getting fucking S30V like edge retention, and he said it 100 times, it's because they're running it soft. They're running it soft. They're running it soft. And guess what? They were all running it soft, all of them. So unless if it's heat treated to a higher HRC, and I know that's not the only fucking thing. There's lots of variables, but that was one of the main ones. They were running it soft. So some companies got their shit together afterwards, though. But like I said, pretty much all the companies that started using M390 were not doing a good job at first. It's almost like there's like a learning curve to it or something. I don't know. What's up, Russ? Bree says, I think these jackwads put tartar sauce instead of mayo on my burger. What the fuck? That sucks. That sucks. Um, when I want tartar sauce, I just make it myself. I know this isn't what you're talking about, Breeze. You're talking about your damn burger. But when you want some tartar sauce, like for your fish, just use some Miracle Whip and a little bit of relish. Mix that shit up. Tartar sauce. It's that good. Okay, so um hopefully though you guys did get up on that Slysz Bowie if you were wanting to. I'm wondering how long it's going to take them to come out with another batch. So, you guys, if you guys did, I sharpened that S45V and Hinder. I sent it back, but the owner decided to drop the grit down. So I originally did a polish on it. Did fairly well, better than S35VN in my opinion. Possibly not as good as S30V, meaning for a polish and keeping its bite and everything. Don't get me wrong, kept a significant amount of bite. It did good. I was happy with it. It was never it was always it always would have been good enough that I would recommend it. Like it was a good polish edge. But he decided to drop it back down, so we dropped it back down to a 600 grit, and it did really good. But one thing I noticed though is that I tend to do this sometimes, and this is specifically talking about S35VN. So S35VN, I've done a couple times where I've put a mirror polish on the edge. Then I drop it back down. I throw a 600 grit over that polished edge, and holy shit, does it fucking come out. I mean, just stupid sharp. I think, and I'm not positive, but I think that on a microscopic level, two reasons. One, with the mirror polish, it's a very flat V grind. Okay, so you're starting off with a perfectly flat angle that you're already done. So, like, you're going to match that angle really good. And two, the mirror is on there. When you lay the grit over it, you're not like scrubbing out the mirror. You're basically just throwing a grit over the surface. Even though you can't see the mirror, I'm guessing like on a microscopic level, some of the mirror is still there. And it just makes it stupid sharp. Now, when I did the S45VN, it didn't seem like, I mean, it, don't get me wrong, stupid sharp, very, very sharp, but it wasn't like the way when I do S35VN. So, like I said, I need to sharpen more of it to get a really good idea, but it definitely polished better than S35VN. But when I dropped the grit, it didn't seem like it did. It might have, though. It's hard to say, without doing it a few times. Maybe I'm wrong. But Outdoor 55 came back out. He's doing videos again, which is awesome. Haven't seen him in a while. I think he was like, I don't know if he was shadow banned or what happened with him, but what's going on with my comments? Um, but he wasn't around for a while. Outdoors 55. Anyway, so he's posted a couple videos lately, and he has a microscope for his camera. Jeff Jewell has one too. I use a jeweler's loop and just put it up to the lens, but he's got a professional one for his camera or something, and it lets you zoom all the way in. So he's got a video showing you what a burr looks like from a zoomed in point of view. And then he just recently, today, a little bit ago, posted a video showing a razor sharp edge that's zoomed in, but he actually took a straight razor, and when he zoomed in, I thought it was weird that they actually had three edge bevels on their razor blade, and what it appeared to be was one edge bevel that was very, very low grit, then another one like this that was a little bit finer of a grit, and then right at the tip of the edge, another one that was like a polish. Um, it almost seemed like when you really looked at it, like the grit that was at the very edge was only from the previous edge. And like they like, I don't know, maybe the buffing wheel or something. But it looked pretty cool. I thought that was interesting that they put a 3-step edge on it. That's unique, right? I don't think I've ever seen a 3-step edge bevel, basically where it's basically like one edge and then 2 different micro burrs at 2 different angles. So I thought that was pretty weird. And then sharpening that S45, jumping back because it made me think of it. It seemed like after I got back on the stone and I did it again, I think it is a little bit tougher than like to sharpen than S35. I thought at first that it was about the same, but when I jumped back and put a new grit over that polished edge, I think it's a little bit hard. I'm not going to say harder because I don't like to use the word harder. It takes a little bit more time than S35 VN. I don't know much about steels, so I want to ask how VG10 compares to 420HC steel. I am looking for something with decent edge retention. So you're going to get better edge retention out of VG10 than 420. 440 is going to be better than the 420, but the VG10 is going to be better than 440. So think of it, if you really want to just think of it, and if you don't really know, and trust me, I don't know shit either, but it's probably 2 or 3 grades or steps ahead of the 420 because 440C is similar to a 9CR. When you ever see 9CR 18 MOV, that's basically 440C. It's a little bit better than 440C, but it's basically the same thing. Well, then VG10 is going to be closer to like an OS 10, a little bit more like N690, stuff like that. But it's definitely better, like far better. You're going to get a lot better edge retention than the 420. I don't know how many feet, but if you really want to know the difference and really want to see the foot difference, like in how many feet of rope or how many cuts of rope, go watch Cedric and Ada. I know he's got a video on it. Cedric and Ada. He's definitely got a video on probably 420 and VG10 cutting Chisel rope. I dig VG10 too. I don't mind VG10. It's a Japanese steel. Good steel. It does really good on kitchen knives, chef knives, and stuff like that. I like it on pocket knives too, though, because 1, it does take a really good edge. 2, it's very corrosion resistant, so you don't really have to worry about corrosion. Man, it holds a damn good edge. You just don't want to pay like a crazy amount for it on a budget end. Now, like with that company I did, that custom knife, that was a custom heat treat, which is always going to be a like way better. Like the difference between a custom heat treat and a production heat treat, even on an easy steel, it's going to be far superior. It's kind of like going to say Target and buying cupcakes off of the rack, right? Not the ones that they just sat there and baked there, but like the ones that are like just like produced from a company and then they send them there and then they put them on the shelf versus eating some homemade grandma style baked cupcakes. It's kind of like that. Cedric and Ada has a chart on his channel with all the steel cutting he has done so far. Thank you, Todd. Yes, that's the name of the channel right there. He spelled it out. Cedric and and Ada. Check that channel out. It's a chart and you can watch the cut tests. So I don't want anybody to think I'm talking shit right now when I talk about this. But, sometimes I talk about comments I get, and I just want people to understand and realize that you can't get everything into one video. You never can. Like, there's always something else you wish you could have said, wish you would have said, or could have spoke better on. Right? It's kind of like if I do a video and I say oh, this knife, scales are or G10, right? And it's like, why didn't you say what G10 is made out of? Right? It's like, fuck, man. Um, there's always gonna be that. Like, you try to fit as much information as possible into as little time as possible, because it I'm not going to say uninspiring, but when you put, say, 5 hours into a video, and I'm just spitting a number out of my brain, and it's 20 minutes long, right? And then you look at your analytics and people watched 4 minutes of the video, it kind of, it's like, man, I should have made it shorter, right? But then I wouldn't have been able to get the size and the size comparisons, or the this or the that. And anytime you skip a topic or skip a part, you're always going to have somebody that wish, like, I have people, and I understand this, and I've been trying to do it more, where people say, I wish you would write the names of the knives. Now, if I do a 20 knives in one video, man, that's going to take me a long time to edit that video and write down every time that knife pops up. But guess what? I do it sometimes. I fucking do it. But sometimes I just say the name. Sometimes I say the name and I write it. Now, if I did that, I spent a lot of work doing that shit, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's like, man, I said the name. If you didn't understand me because I talk like shit, give me a comment, give me a timestamp, and I promise you I will tell you what knife it is at 7 minutes and 23 seconds. But give channels credit, like when there's information that they mistakenly said, or didn't say, or left out. Just know that a lot of times they wish they wanted to say it, but it's just sometimes there's only so much information you can talk about in one subject. It's kind of like if I talk about I don't know, thumb studs or something, or grinds or steels, right? It's like I can mention 5 steels, and it's like, well, why didn't you mention this steel? It's like, well, fuck, man. Come on. Um, you're always gonna have to leave something out. And sometimes, man, I smack myself in the head like, why didn't I say that? And sometimes somebody will leave me a comment. It's like, motherfucker, why didn't you say that before I posted the video? As if they knew. But I say that sometimes because it's like, damn it, I wish I would have said that. What? Lacey Marie just got kicked out of your YouTube. I came back and it didn't show that I was live. Wouldn't even pull it back up for me. Stupid YouTube. That's weird. Sometimes, like when I've been kicked out of here, I'm still live. It's just not like active. But when I go to try to go back live, it's still the same video. It's not like it comes up as two, which is cool. Jared, you missed a donation from Ben? What? I just scrolled all the way up to the top. I haven't seen anything. I don't think I missed a donation. I haven't seen one. Hold on. Whoa! It's on this side, but it's not on this side. I'm sorry. Benjamin, thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know how I missed it. It's not showing up on my it's weird that it's on this one, because if you guys don't know, I'm watching this too on an iPad, but I'm on the computer, which this is the app. That's weird. Thank you guys for letting me know. And Benjamin, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not gonna miss another one. I promise you. I'm gonna keep my eye on both of these things. Hopefully, that was just like a goof up. Because that's weird. It's not. It didn't show up on my app. Hmm. Let me know. I'll send it again. No, it's sent. It's sent. I appreciate it, Ben. It's just only showing up on the iPad. It's weird. But I appreciate that though. You know what? It didn't come. Send it again. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I appreciate that. Okay, so Oh man, I was just thinking of something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, this is funny on me, but and I almost want to ask you guys because I've gotten this comment 15, 20 times at least, and it's always about my voice, and it's always like when they finally see a live, they're like, "Holy shit, you're way younger than I thought." They all say they thought I was an old man. Do I sound like a fucking old man to you guys? Not saying that there's anything wrong with sounding like an old man. Actually, that's kind of a compliment. It's a really big compliment, but I just never would have thought, like, if I was listening to myself, I would never listen and think, like, that's an old guy. Fucking old man there. And I've literally gotten that comment so many times. So many times. Like, holy shit, you're way younger than I thought. But then they usually probably look at me and think I'm younger than I actually am because I get that a lot. But based on my voice, they think I'm a lot older. Well, thank you, Russ. But I don't know. Maybe that's a compliment, to be honest, because these days, I'd rather say I sound like the last generation than the fucking new one. Oh. No way. If anything, I would think the opposite, asshole. I'm just joking. Oh, thank you, Wallaby. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I think. I think. Could be bad. I don't know. Oh, I don't hear a mismatch of Jared and his voice. But you know what I look like. Think about it if you'd never seen my face, because I do that too. I'll be honest. Like, there's times when channels never like showed their face for a long time. Like Metal Complex, he didn't show his face for a long time, but I actually knew what he looked like before you guys did. About a week or two before he actually showed his face. I've seen it not like in person, but like in a picture, me and him talk and stuff sometimes. And but he always told everybody that he looks like a Wahlberg, right? He always told everybody I look like a Wahlberg, which he does. He does. He looks just like a Wahlberg. And but for a while there, before I knew he looked like a Wahlberg, meaning because he said that, I always tried to picture like, what the fuck does this guy look like? And I'll be honest, I never pictured him looking like he does. Now that he does, it matches, right? It does. I think, yeah, it matches. But at first, I don't know. I guess that's just the way it goes. It's kind of like right now. Imagine what Nick Shabazz looks like. Unlike some of you, I've never seen him. Bama, he's seen him. Slicey Dicey, he's seen him. Stas, I'm sure he's seen him. Mike Emler, he knows him. But I've never seen him. Even if I did, I probably wouldn't tell you guys. But imagine like seeing him. You're gonna be like, didn't think he'd look like that. But that's just the way it's gonna go. Check out these lights. These Ravivon lights, man. These fucking things are bright, man. Holy shit, these things are bright. It's funny because when I first started watching your videos, I was surprised when I first saw your face, as I thought it didn't match. Now, when I hear you, I picture your face. Yeah, I think that's the way it's gonna go, no matter what. If you didn't show your face, you'd be just another asshole. I showed my face from not day one, day two. Jared, your voice sounds like someone who would have skinny jeans and a man. Oh, you definitely don't sound old. Oh, thank you. Shabazz. Shabazz sounds like he looks like Danny DeVito. That's so funny that you said that because that's exactly what I picture. Exactly what I picture. Um, it's crazy how people's minds will think like that based on a voice. Based on a voice, because that's exactly what I think. I'm not saying that's what it looks like, but that's what the image in my head says he looks like. Which is crazy that we do that. I've got one of those lights. They're so lightweight as well. Yeah, and they glow. That's one thing. Like if I hold it up like this, it's glows in the dark. It is fucking bright, man. This thing is so tiny. I bet it's brighter than my big old, well, I don't know about my biggest old light, but it's brighter than my regular old light, which is like 1100 lumens, I think, something like that. I think it's brighter than this one. It might not shoot as far, but damn it, is it bright. It's got 3 modes. Now, this little fucker is pretty bright as well. It's Mech Army. Mech Army SGN5. But whoo, fucking burn my camera out. But it's got this. Hold your ears, guys. Hold your ears because it's gonna get loud. It's got this little it was louder before, but the signal to tell everybody not to come. Because how many times, think about this. I really want to know. You're in a fucking alley. Not even an alley. I don't care where you're at. Think of a fucking place, a public place, and you hear this in a distance. Are you coming running? Or are you going to fucking get in your car because the noise is annoying you? You're probably getting in your car. Man, my light fucked my camera up. Maybe I should shine it at it again and see if it fixes it. I'm on. Here, let me go forward. Look at it. There we go. Perfect. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that will ever do anything, but it does have a good light. It has a couple different modes. I think it even has. It's got a few different things on it, but it's pretty cool though, and super bright. Both of these, and look how tiny they are. This one's cool because it's glow in the dark, and if you just turn it on for a little bit, this thing will start glowing even in daylight. Like it's so crazy because the light like makes it like and it also has, I think it has a light, another light too, like inside of it. How do I do it? It's got like I think it has a light inside of it too. But anyways, but it basically makes itself brighter because it's so damn bright. So, I get asked about chisel grinds sometimes. I want to talk about those. Oh, Justin and Molly, that was really funny to see them. And Lindy Lou was the star of the show. I missed that live, but watched the whole thing later. I still have to watch it. I'll be honest, guys. I wanted to make it. Kara couldn't make it. She's managing that place now. I feel like a dick because I should have gave Ray a longer heads up. I literally talked to him like 2 hours before it was going up. I feel like a prick, but it is what it is. He knew ahead of time though that we might not have been able to show, but I really wanted to. But there was no point in me going without Kara because it was a couples show. How do I look? Maybe I could have showed up with Douglas, but I feel bad though. But I'm glad they had. Well, I hope I'm not gonna say I'm glad because they might have had a shit time. Hopefully they had a good time. Sounds like a shop window of a business been broken. I'm not going towards it to be remotely considered a subject. Facts, right? Yeah, I feel like it does sound just like that. The only difference is you can tell it's not that because it's not loud enough. So to me, like I would just think it's some kid's toy or something. I don't know. Like he used to be a lot louder. Now it seems like I don't know. There's like this little thing in it. You can see that little round thing. That's the thing making the noise, I think. Maybe that's the battery. I don't know. No, it's the thing that's making the noise because there's a little hole there. Anyways, it's this little disc. It must be going bad or something because it's not as loud. It used to be really loud, but I guess those things go out. You need to have me on your podcast, asshole, any fucking time. I wish you would. Why don't you come on Saturday if you're free? If not, Wednesday. You can come on anytime you want, but I'd love to have you on. Seems logical. That was a fun EDC live. I kind of wish I could stay up later. 10 p.m. is hard stop for my bedtime these days. Got more kids added on, and I got to wake up early. You know what, though? I do that too, man. I don't even have kids. Fucking, I go to bed early. Early to bed, early to rise. Early bird gets the worm. I I mean, there's nights when me and Kara stay up, but man, there's some nights and I'm in bed by fucking 8:30, 9 o'clock, getting to bed. But I had such a sleeping issue. Like I'm talking about fucking sleep problems for years and years and years. And I feel like it affected me really bad for a long time. And just recently, the past, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a year, probably a year, I've I'm finally able to sleep. I'm able to sleep all night. I still wake up, but I'm able to sleep. Like the longest I slept for probably 10 years was 4 hours. And I never slept longer than 1 hour at a time. And there was one year I went the entire year without sleeping. The entire year. I would like take cat naps like during the day because my body was just so exhausted, but I couldn't sleep from sleep paralysis. I had it so bad, like the most toxic version of sleep paralysis you could ever imagine. And there was just no sleeping. Every time I tried to go to sleep, my body would lock up, and it was so painful, and it was just crazy. Like I'd get like little bits of sleep, like a minute here, 2 minutes there, but yeah, fucking stress will get you. Um, what? Oh, ah, Jared, what did you do to sleep better? Well, one, I quit doing drugs, but but I got sober. That was one thing, but I still had an issue. Technically, before I ever even got fucking thing. Hang on a second. Technically, before I ever even started trying to get this thing to focus on me. I had the issue before I ever even became an addict or got addicted to drugs or anything. But so I had the issue from way before. And then I actually being addicted actually kind of helped it a little bit at first, but then when I got off, it like came back. So I think one thing was dealing with the issues I had was one thing. So yeah, I would just say that basically dealing with the issues I had. Because it all, it all just stemmed to stress and everything like that. For that. Now I wasn't having the sleep paralysis as bad, and I still wasn't able to sleep longer than an hour. One thing was what's that noise? Um I couldn't go an hour without smoking a cigarette, and I stopped smoking cigarettes, so that kind of helped. But even after I was, like I said, after I was sober, I still had sleeping issues. The sleep paralysis I'd get every once in a while, but I started eating right, started eating better. I got healthier, exercise, even though I was so physically exhausted before because I was doing construction, taking care of my dad, running the streets. I was doing fucking everything, dog training. I was doing everything all at once. And I was so depleted with exhaustion and still couldn't sleep. Um, Yep, drug abuse is a symptom that a whole infinity of other side effects. Yeah, and it actually helped at first, but just like with anything, once you get used to it, it's gonna come back. But before I ever even started doing dope or anything, I couldn't sleep. But that, like I said, that was because of stress. Then when I started doing shit, I could sleep. I started being able to sleep, but once I still had my issues, obviously. It's like putting a band-aid on a wound. You still have the wound. It's just, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, but it wasn't like it was. Like I said, I went an entire year one time. This is when I was sober, an entire year with no sleep. So I wish I had time for a dog. I hate neglecting friends with four legs. I love me some dogs. I got me a little dog time today. Played with my buddy's dog. It is a vicious cycle, Indy Lou. Absolutely, absolutely. But after I did get sober though, and I dealt with the issues at hand, like issues that I guess I had would probably inspired me or led me into drug addiction. But once I dealt with that and I started getting healthy, not just healthy physically, but healthy minded, um, that did a lot for me. I think getting healthy minded, dealing with issues, and not pushing everything down like I was for years and years, and just taking tragedy upon tragedy and just like just leaving it back there. I always had so much shit to deal with that I never had time to deal with myself. So I think once it all caught up, it was like there was no other thing I could do but take care of it. And once I did, and then I started getting physically healthy and doing everything health wise, not just physically, but mentally, that made me start being able to sleep again. Now, man, I can sleep 4 hours at a time. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up at least once in an 8 hour sleep, but I can sleep 8 hours if I want to. I usually don't though, but 6 hours is a good sleep to me. But before, if I slept 4 hours, like up until like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, if I got 4 hours of sleep, I was happy as shit. I'm talking about like so happy I'd wake up feeling good because I got good night's sleep. Now though, I want to get more than that. So plus for a man, sleep helps raise testosterone. And I like my testosterone. So lack of sleep and no sleep especially really dramatically lowers a man's testosterone. So I like to have good sleep. I think of that, and I exercise. So you can't build muscle without sleep. Um, so there's just a lot of reasons why I want good sleep, especially at the age I'm getting to, becoming an old man. I need my sleep. I danced with the devil for 10 years. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. I just picked up the Spyderco Slysz Bowie today at Night Joy exclusive. How much you selling it for online, Tyler? I'm just joking. I don't know how I like it though, because it's my first Spyderco actually. Wow, really? I think you'll like it. We were talking about that was the first subject we started talking about. If you do want to rewind, but it's a great knife, man. I was saying earlier, it's a knife you enjoy grabbing. It's a knife like in your knife collection, you like to grab it. Just one recommendation though, don't get it and keep it. You do whatever you want. Okay, do whatever you want. Hey, I see it. See, it didn't pop up over here. If it pops up in a second. Oh, there it goes. Yes, it did pop up. Sobriety advocate. Thank you. Thank you. Uh Do Liver Elliott, or is it D Oliver Elliott? D Oliver Elliott. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. One more bell. I have to think sometimes people list them like that to just be intentionally stupid. Yeah, probably. Um, Thanks, Wallaby. I need it. I need to post. Have been so busy. Yeah, you do. Where the fuck have you been? But yeah, the Slysz Bowie though, don't get it. I mean, do whatever you want with your knife, but don't get it. And I guess okay, if you get it and you're like, it's not me. I don't like it. Then yeah, sell it, right? But if you do like it and you're gonna keep it, fucking use it because that's kind of the beauty with this knife is carrying and using it. Like if I just left it sit here and just kept it like like I can sell this in the future. I would never enjoy it as much as I do. I enjoy this because it's so nice to carry. I enjoy it because it's so smooth, the lockup, and it cuts good. It really does. For a Spyderco, this thing's pretty thin behind the edge. Mine, I don't know about these new ones. Mine came with a really good factory edge. It's still very good and still on the factory edge, which is crazy. This is probably the longest, they're the most used knife I've had on a factory edge. I saw someone already post the Bowie on eBay. Started bids like 1,000. Now they're at like 4K. I know. It's crazy. Crazy. No, I would hope that nobody would pay that because it doesn't make sense, right? You have these ones on eBay for like $700-800, whatever they are, 5 7 800 dollars. Who the fuck is gonna pay for the brand new one and pay $1,000? You gotta be out of your mind. But hey, man, if that's what you want to do with your money, but you could just wait. You could wait. They'll drop another batch. Get on their email list or something, or pay attention to their Instagram or whatever. If you don't have Instagram, get on the email list. They'll email you when they're dropping, and then you can get one. Be quick with the typing though, because they were gone. Lindy Lou said in like 13 minutes. Um, what's sad is that you know that there is someone out there who would actually pay that much for it. I know. I would. It is sad because they could just wait. But I mean, whoever pays for that, you know what? I'm gonna take it back. That's not sad because the guy who fucking pays for it's got enough fucking money that they were like, you know what? I'm not even gonna waste my time to try to get it. I'll just wait till they show up on eBay and I'll pay that money. So they're bowing out the ass to pay that money. I don't understand why. I mean, they sometimes struggle to sell for $700 on Reddit. Right. That's my point. Like, why would you pay 1,000 or 3,000 or $4,000 when they're not even going for that much for the old ones? Like, I don't know anybody who's ever paid that much. Hey, Casey Dollar, thank you, man. Shadow Man be buying knives, $1,000 overbooked to give away. Yeah. Um, I need to get a hold of him, man. I haven't talked to him in a few days, you could say. But no, good. Oh no. Oh no. What the fuck? Is Canada in here, guys? It looked like Canada was in here. Maybe it was just mine. Anyways, there was I wanted to talk about chisel grinds. You guys got me all veered up. So somebody was asking me the other day about chisel grinds and why nobody likes them. Because in all reality, chisel grinds cut like extremely good. Now, what is your excuse for not having a chisel grind? Because and you don't have a chisel grind. Why not? Why don't you have a chisel grind? I I think a lot of people's it's aesthetics is it can't be cutting performance or ease of sharpening because they're easy to sharpen and they cut very good. Um, I would just buy a custom Slysz at that point. That's so true. Why wouldn't you just buy a custom? I didn't even think of that. Ooh, that's so true. Why wouldn't you just buy a custom at that price? I thought Canada was in here. It showed up. He was on my screen. Zach, what's up, bud? Thank you. I will be listening on the drive home. All right, bud. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you for the damn donation, bud. I appreciate that. Thank you. Uh Blade Ogre says, I have a chisel grind on my Protec Emerson. So Blade Ogre has no excuse because he's got one. So what's your excuse? I used to, my excuse before, I'll say my new excuse. My old excuse was the aesthetic. I couldn't handle looking at one side being one way and the other side being the other way. It just was ugly as shit to me. Until like, see, Canada's in here, ain't they? Is it just my shit? Oh no. Are we good? Okay, looks like we're good now. Um, yes, the CQC 7 Tonto gets used so much by this boy. Tri-State's got one. So when I sharpened one and I cut with it, I was like, holy cow, this thing cuts so good. Like, so good. And it wasn't because of geometry, because this thing was thick as a brick and thick behind the edge, but yet it seemed to pass through materials really, really good. I love how Canada is a thing. Oh, I know. But I know it's weird that we call it that. I don't even know who started Breeze. Breeze is the one who fucking started that shit. Um, but so aesthetics to me, it stopped being that because it cuts so good, and you only have to sharpen one edge bevel, knock the burr off, strop it, done. It's kind of like sharpening a half a knife, not a half a knife, but you only have to sharpen one side. So if I pull out the old Bowie, I sharpen one side. When I get the burr, flip it over, knock the burr off, done. I mean, it's quick to sharpen, takes a nasty sharp edge. You can lay that edge back and it doesn't look ridiculous because it's only at one edge bevel anyway. So it's not like you ever look at it like, oh man, that edge bevel's too big on that knife. They're usually thick behind the edge. Zach says, happy Wednesday to everybody in here. Lefty EDC, what's up, bud? What was it? Earlier or yesterday or whatever. I think it was earlier. He posted a picture of his slim midi. He posted a picture of his slim midi Tonto, his slim midi Tonto. And I said, yeah, studies, statistics and studies show that people that buy slim midi Tontos have small penises. And I said, I love my drop point. Oh, yeah, Lefty's in the house. Oh man, I was talking about I got it right here. Oh man, this thing is amazing. Oh, I love this knife, man. This is definitely one of the greats. One of the great, at least for me, because I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, this thing not only does it like just, it's so eye candy for me. Like it's literally like this is beautiful to me. And I knew it the first time I ever saw one. But yeah. I almost thought when I first seen one, like a picture, I thought, man, there's gotta be something up because there's no way that a knife is gonna look that appealing to me and be that good, right? Of course, like I would get it and be like, yep, this is what's wrong. It looks good, but this is what's wrong. Nope. It's a good one. It's a good one. And I love it. She says that sounds accurate. So glad you got a hold of that Evo. I had to wind up selling the one I wanted to send kind of soon at that live stream. Um, yeah, man, that sucks. I know you got the chance to have two of them. DTOM, he's got an all tie version coming. I think he said he spent 900 for it. A full tie version would be amazing. Somebody said it looks heavy. This thing is super light. One, it's milled out on the tie side. Two, carbon fiber, super light. Everybody knows carbon fiber is super light. But then the grind takes away all that weight from the steel. This thing is light. You would think it was heavy. Nope, it is not heavy. Breeze, what did you start? You started Canadians in here. Canada being in here. A brawl. So what's so crazy about the Demko AD20? I've seen everyone and their mom drool over it, and I don't exactly know why. Oh man, I got mine on the way back right now. And speaking of that, they got the new one coming. I'm sure you guys already know. They got the new one with the FRN handles, and I think OS 10. I think it's going to be an OS 10. But that's amazing. I'm glad they're doing it not exactly like the Demko AD20 because the new one is the AD 20.5, and it's not it's not as big, not as beefy. It's done an FRN. It's a little thinner. I think it's a little shorter too. 3-inch blade instead of a 3.5. Anyways, what's so awesome about it? It's so solid. Like, can you imagine the smoothest knife like on bearings? Like it's just fucking stupid smooth. It feels like there's no resistance at all. Like it's So smooth. It's like just nothing, right? Like that. Yet when you grab it, it's so solid. Like just trying to, you can't muscle nothing out of it. It's so fucking solid. That, then when you open it and you hear the shark lock crack into place, you can feel it. You can hear it. It cracks into place. It's very solid. Then it's super easy because, you know, it's just right here. So I know an access lock is like that too, very easy, but it's different. It has that, you know how we always want that sound, that knife sound, the acoustics of a knife. It has that. It has the acoustics. It has the fidget factor. It has the solid factor. It's built like a fucking like a vault. Um, it. Sorry guys. Hey, bud, I'm in a live. Let me call you back. Yeah, yeah. Now everybody's fucking sitting here watching me talk to you. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you after. I'll call you after. Bye. Anyways, but I think the real beauty of it is that cold steel knives, the triad lock. The triad lock is the strongest locking mechanism known to man. All right, for a folder. Obviously, it has to be a folder. One thing that people don't like about the triad lock is that it's a back lock. Some people don't like back locks. Me being one of them. I'm not a massive fan of backlocks. Do I like them sometimes? Yeah, I'm okay with them sometimes, but I don't like my knives to be backlocks. I like having the ease of close and open, especially on my work knives. So the one thing that the people that love the strength of the triad lock but didn't like the backlock part, they get it with the AD20. You get the fidget factor. You don't have to deal with the backlock, but it's even, if not as strong, it's stronger. So that's why. Yeah, but it seems just wait, it's yeah, but it doesn't just fall like an access lock. It feels like it slopes to a point of less resistance, and then you let go of the lock and it gets pulled back into the locked position. Very mechanical. Yes. That's another thing. Yeah, it is different. Like what I meant by the access lock thing is just like how smooth it is. But yeah, it is mechanical. Like it's like as it closes, when just like the open, when it opens up and it engages, it's like it snaps into place, it locks into place, kind of like a back lock, but on the close, it does the same thing. It's like it ratchets itself in. Very mechanical, like Lavender Pants said. Very, very mechanical. Andrew says the shark lock should be stronger than triad. I wouldn't doubt it, man. So like the way I understand is that the lock is so strong, right? Just like a triad lock. But it's only going to be as strong as that blade because 9 times out of 10, the lock isn't what's going to fail. It's the blade. The blade's going to snap. That's why the 8020 has such a thick blade and the grind is thick. It's fucking thick as it's thick as shit. It's really thick, but it cuts good. I'm not saying it doesn't cut because it does, but it's built for hard use. It's not built for slicing. It's not your slicing dream knife. It's a hard use knife, but it makes sense. Unlike some knives that give you a really strong lock with very thin geometry, or the opposite way, you know, thick ass, brick ass blade on a weak ass lock. Why? What does that make sense to you? Like that doesn't make sense. But with the 8020, it does. It actually makes sense. I love my triad locking fixed blades from wait, what? Triad locking fixed blades from Cold Steel that happen to fold. I get what you mean now. Yes, they basically are a fixed blade that folds. Yeah. Same thing with the 8020. And that's kind of the beauty of it because it's a knife you could stab in a tree and stand on and not think nothing about it at all. I wouldn't worry about standing on it. That's why I had no problem sending it to Stasa and saying, use it, test it. I don't what are you gonna do to it? I'm not, I mean, like, I'm asking, but I mean, like, what could you possibly do to that fucking thing? Good night, kids. It got me tired and ready to fall asleep to wake up at 4 a.m. Good night, bud. Take it easy. Get some of that sleep in you. I appreciate you coming, bud, as always. Right. Excellent for removing brick molding around a door and the door. Lefty, thank you, bud. Studies show people who like the button lock elementum and micro penises. Oh, that's hilarious. Thanks for the donation, bud. And oh man, where the fuck is it? I don't even know where it's at now. But thanks, bud. Oh, I can't wait to see you break that thing because I know you're probably gonna break it on your channel. But I'm excited to see that. If you're really gonna break it, can't wait because it's a knife I personally would like to see the lock strength on. I actually thought of breaking one myself, but I got to give one away, and I do want to keep one, my micro penis and all. I do need to make sure I have one for that reason, but I would like to see how strong the lock is because I'm guessing, which this is hard to say because it has a liner in it. It's kind of similar to like the smock in a way. It has a liner that has a disc. So the disc is on top of the liner. And the disc locks in place as the lock bar, in the like say if it was a regular button lock, like like the Orion, that little groove that's cut out in the blade for the lock to lock up in. It's just a little disc that's on the liner. It's like kind of like those double detent knives, except because it's not like a full liner. It is, but it's a skinny liner, and that holds like a little disc. Now, my question is, will that disc break off? How strong is that disc? Because it doesn't seem, because this is the thing, like a a liner lock or a frame lock, right? the the tang of the blade has a slope to it. So like this. So when the lock bar comes in, it goes like this, right? So when pressure's put, they have the chance of slipping out, right? Slipping out. With this, you don't have that. You have a groove and a disc that sticks in with pressure. So it's not being folded out by a ramp. So it kind of makes me wonder, it might be pretty strong. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that disc will break off really easily, though. It's hard to say without, seeing Lefty EDC's abuse. Anybody handle the AD15 Lite? I handled one at my local shop the other day, and I can't stop thinking about it. I absolutely love how that thing felt. I have it. I have the AD15, but yeah. So Lucky Lavender Pants, he's got a knife shop near him that's got like all the fucking knives all you guys dream about, and he gets to go there and play with them. And yeah, that's so awesome. I wish I had a knife shop like that nearby. You get to test out knives before buying them. Whew. Okay, if I return my Wii Arrakis, which I don't even have yet, what knife should I get instead or start to save up for? And it can't be more a mid-tech or even custom. It can't be the Wii Arrakis, the Wii Malice. That's a fucking great knife. It's in my pocket right now, to be honest. Love this knife. Love, love, love this knife. But I think there's a lot of great knives. Like I said, I love this knife. I highly recommend that one. I don't know what we Arrakis goes for, but I do have news, guys, and I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm not even gonna make a video about it. I'll just say it in a live. I'm sending that Spyderco C70 GP2 back. I'm sending this bitch back. So there's a few reasons why. So one, a few people in the comments said that how, man, this thing is so smooth though. They were saying how these things got discontinued right away because they had a lot of problems. So that made me start investigating, not in videos, but this knife. So I started investigating, like I started like messing with it, like checking, and sure as shit, one, it's got a little bit of lock rock. In the closed position, it has a little bit of detent lash. It's thick as shit behind the edge. So, what was the next thing? Oh yeah, and the lock. It's not stick, it's rub. Lock rub. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but instead of it going like stick, stick, it's like so. I'm sending it back. I already talked to the place. They told me to send it back to them, and instead of refunding the money, I'm just gonna buy another knife from them. So I kind of felt bad. This will only be the second knife I've ever returned ever. The only other knife I've ever returned was a CRKT Pilar. Um, I'm normally not that type. Like just because, like, if I make a purchase and I don't like it, I'm usually okay with that. But if it has issues, I usually deal with it. Like meaning, like I usually just fix it myself. But in this instance, it's $200, $213 to be exact. It's just too much money for me to try to work on, and it's got too many issues. And it's an old knife. I fucked up by making the purchase. I should have looked more into it before I bought it. I thought I was getting a fucking cool knife, and found out I got a shit knife. And it's really not that bad of a knife. Like if it didn't have those little issues, it'd be a badass knife. But yeah, it's so thick behind the edge, man. It's thick. It's probably like 30 thousandths behind the edge. What's 25? What's 25? I think I missed something about that 25. Lavender Pants says they had 80/20s, every Liang Ma, Adams, Custom Striders, Marfiones, almost every current Spyderco Civivi kite. Man, that's awesome, man. That's fucking incredible. I know I've seen the picture you sent me, and I was like, oh, I wanted to go so bad because that to any knife nut, if they had that nearby, they would always pick the right knife. Not just that, but you'd also get to enjoy the ones that you can't afford. And because sometimes there's like a knife, like it's like I'm gonna buy it just so I can experience it. Then you get it and you're like, I love it, but I don't think it was worth $500 or whatever you spent. In that case, you can get it. You can be like, yeah, I like it, but it's not worth $500. So I'll put that towards this, something you can grab and you'd be like, but this does feel like it. So that's awesome. We all can't have a badass knife shop next door, but I seen this video and um man, I wanted to just fucking reach through the screen and choke this motherfucker. So I was watching this video and it was like at a hotel or something. The guy is behind behind the computer, behind the register, and there's a guy filming him. So he's got his, camera sitting there at him, and he's like giving the guy crap. But I think the guy hit his computer, like smacked it or something, getting frustrated. I think the guy with the camera was like giving him crap, like, "Oh, you guys messed my room up. You guys did this, blah blah blah. Gave me the wrong room or didn't do this, whatever." The guy smacked his computer. Well, then the guy starts filming, and he's giving him shit, like, "Oh, this is how you guys do business." This, and you can see this guy emotionally, something's going on. This guy is shutting down quick. This guy fucking has some mental issues, right? He shouldn't be working there, but he is, right? The fact of the matter is, he's the guy behind the counter, and you're fucking with this guy now. The guy loses it. He tries telling him, "It's not you, sir. It's not you, sir." but then he just fucking starts punching himself in the face, slapping himself, grabs the fucking computer, breaks it over his head, starts hitting it, loses his shit, right? And it's like, and then the guy behind the camera keeps antagonizing. Like, oh, this is how you do business. This is what kind of people you have working here. This is how you treat people. And it's like, dude, this fucking guy is losing his mind right now. Like, there's something wrong with this guy. This guy obviously has some fucking mental issues. Like, back the fuck off. Turn your camera off and back the fuck off this guy. This guy's obviously losing his mind. He's probably going to go home and who knows what, right? Like, I mean, when somebody's that unhinged, you don't provoke them, right? It's like any situation. You know, it's like somebody standing on a ledge, right? Saying, I'll jump. No, you won't. Jump, you fucking pussy. You know, it's like, come on, man. Don't do that shit. But that's how I felt like in the, you know, like watching this. Like, I just wanted to reach through and smack the guy. Like, leave this guy alone. This guy's got obviously some serious shit going on mentally. Nobody starts hitting themselves like that and abusing themselves. And he was punishing himself. You heard him. He was like saying weird things like while he was doing it, like almost like he was punishing himself. Then when he picked up the computer and starts bashing his head into it, it's like, okay, we've crossed the line to insanity now. This guy, he's not mentally healthy. And I understand, like, he's the customer. The guy's the customer that has the fucking camera up here like this. Like, I don't know what you're fucking doing with the camera, but I understand he's the customer. So he's trying to get it on camera. So, yeah, I don't know, fucking has evidence or something, as if the guy's the police or something. Do that with the police. Don't do that with fucking the hotel employee. Anyways, my point is, this guy, though, you know, it's like when you've realized at that point, right? Like, before everything started happening, you know, maybe he hit the computer. When he starts hitting himself and hitting the other stuff, back off. Just get away. Get away. Leave this guy alone. This guy just lost his job now, for sure, right? You don't break the computer over your head and keep your job. You just don't. So he's lost his job now. He's having a mental breakdown in front of you, and you want to, you know, antagonize it. Man, people today, man, I don't know. And it made me think of a story. This guy, I can say his name because he passed away. Bum Bob. He lived in around the neighborhood, and he was a homeless guy, but he had some serious mental issues, like some serious mental issues, and you'd see him all the time. Like, if you lived in the town or the city, you would see him. You just would. You didn't want to run into him though, because the guy was very crazy. He was like 6'3", big beard, big guy, dirty as shit, always pushed around a lawnmower, and would say the craziest things. Like, he would literally, like, if you were walking past, he might not even be talking to you, but he'd be looking you in the eyes, like dead smack in the fucking eyes, and he'd say the craziest shit. And you don't even know, like, is he talking to me? Right? Because the things would be like so off the wall. Like, I've seen him get jumped, I've seen him get beat up. I almost got into a fight with him one time because he said some crazy shit. Right. And now looking back at it, like, I wouldn't do that now, right? Because I would realize the guy has a condition, right? I used to, this is funny, but I used to watch him extort the gas stations. He would mow their lawn, right? Their little tiny strip, because there's like hardly any grass. So they'd have like 6 feet by 3 feet of grass outside, and he would mow the lawn, and then go in there and be like, "You owe me $10." And they'd be like, "What? I mowed your fucking grass. You owe me $10." And he would sit in the gas station like nobody wanted to come in there because everybody knew Bum Bob. Everybody knew him. So nobody wanted to come to the gas station. So one, the guy's losing business now. Number two, he's sitting there throwing a fit. So the gas stations would fucking give him the money or give him something to drink or something like that just to get the fuck out. Hey, thanks, Ian. Story time. Yay. Thank you, bud. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, and I thought it was so hilarious how he would literally extort these gas stations for money or for alcohol or whatever. They wouldn't even know, like, like they never asked him to mow the lawn. He would just do it and then walk in, you owe me money. but but yeah, one time though, because like I said, when he would look at you, like he'd be like walking out of the gas station or something, right? And you'd be walking in and he'd say off the wall shit. Sometimes he'd like be like crazy shit, like I'll fucking kill you, motherfucker. Don't like what are you looking at? And like stuff like that. Like he'd look right at you, what the fuck are you looking at? I'll kill you, just crazy shit. So when you say that to certain people, you're about to fight, right? Like you're not just going to get away with saying that to people. So I've seen him get into so many fights. I've seen him get beat up plenty of times. But it's not a guy you want to get into a fight with. So like the one time when I almost got into a fight with him, same exact reason, walking by at the gas station, he says some shit walking by. I started like, talking shit to him. He started mumbling. Like the next words that came out of his mouth weren't even words, they're mumbles. And the person I was with, like, was like, nah, fuck that, like get away from him, like whatever. So I didn't wind up doing anything, but that's the kind of guy you do not want to fight. Not because you're gonna lose. You don't know what disease he has. He's gonna bite, uh, claw. He's gonna fucking do anything. Like you don't know what he's gonna do, and you don't know what diseases he's got or anything like that. He's got scabs on him and shit. Like it's not the guy you want to fuck with. Not because you're gonna lose the fight, but because it's a lose-lose situation no matter what. And he's got a mental fucking condition. And having a mental condition like that, there's times where it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it. Even if you feel like your ego just got smashed, fucking throw that ego in the back because it is not worth it. Walk away from that guy. That guy's mental health condition is not worth your time. And so many times I've seen where people did waste their time on that shit. And there were plenty of times where, like, because it does get nerve wracking, right? You have a 6'3", 6'4" big man with a beard staring you right in the fucking eyes, saying, I'm going to kill you. Right. Or saying whatever, or even just the thought of it, right? Walking past this guy and this guy's mumbling and talking things, whether it's to you, you don't know, but he's saying it. Sounds like it's to you, sounds like it's directly at you, even if it's not. He could be talking to the wall. You don't know, but it gets your heart going. Like, is this guy fucking talking to me? Like, is he talking to me like that? Am I about to have to fight this fucking guy out here in the parking lot? Uh, run if you can. Wait, run if you can, fight if you must. A real fight has no predictable outcome, so fight to win. Yeah, and the way what I'm saying, like with him, is that having a mental condition, you're if it comes down to throwing hands, right, you're probably gonna win that fight, even though he's big as shit and everything else. But the actual fight itself, if there's blood, if he's gonna claw, right? He's got a mental health condition. He's gonna do whatever it takes to survive. To him, he's dying probably at that moment. He's gonna bite. He's gonna do things that two men deciding to fist fight are not gonna do, right? He's gonna do crazy shit. You don't want to be the guy getting into a fight with that guy. That's the guy that wants to go to jail. And I've literally seen the cops show up and they won't take him. They will not take him to jail. He had the cops call on him all the time, like daily. They would show up and just say, Bob, get out of here, Bob. Bob, get out of here. And they just walk him off, like walk him off the property. He'd fucking have his lawnmower and he'd walk off. But he wound up dying behind a gas station in the back of it. But or on the side of it or whatever. But yeah, that's the mental health problem there is so fucking bad. It's not worth it. And it's sad, right? It's sad. But I did hear, though, the reason why he was on the street was, and I don't want to spread gossip or anything. I know he's passed away now, but I heard, this is a rumor. I don't know how true it is, but it's probably true. But I heard he got caught up for like something with his daughters. That's all I'm going to say. Something with his daughters. But the cops, so they wouldn't arrest him no more because he didn't mind going to jail. You know, he got a meal, a bed, a shower, maybe. Like, why wouldn't he go to jail? That's fucking awesome. I mean, he gets out of the cold or heat, whichever one. I used to be a director for security in DC, and our buildings was right where the bus dropped off all the homeless, drugless every day. It was a nightmare dealing with them. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and some of those points, everybody knows those points, right? In certain areas, right? Say populated areas, there's gonna be points of those locations that are gonna be hot spots. They're just spots that's either easy, like a center point, right, where everything is to the right or the left. So that's a good location if you're homeless. That's kind of where he would be. He'd be in the center point location of the city, next to a gas station always. And there's all kinds of gas stations. It's not like there's just one. There's like 5 in like 2 blocks, maybe within a mile. There's a whole bunch, and all the stores and stuff. So he's in a prime location for a homeless. But he never begged for money. That was one thing. He never begged for money. He always did work for it, or try. Like he extorted. He didn't. I guess that is kind of begging. So okay, I never seen him panhandling. I did see him do a lot of extorting though. Do you know the cause of death? Yeah, it was heart, something with his heart. I know. Wait, I'm sorry. Um, I think it was 2 things. Something with his heart and something with his stomach. He had something going on in his gut. If I remember correctly. I don't exactly know what, but something. He drank a lot, but I don't think it was like literally from alcohol, but something with his gut he didn't know. And being homeless for so many years, he never went to the doctor. So something, because I did hear that it could have been prevented. I remember hearing that if he would have went to the hospital, he would have been alive. But since he never went to the hospital, no insurance, he's homeless, mental conditions, he never went to the hospital. So whatever it was killed him that was preventable, something in his gut, and then it probably gave him a heart attack, maybe, or something, but something like that. I'm interested to see what happened with the judge in LA ordering Skid Row to be housed in 6 months. The city is freaking out. The judge in LA ordering Skid Row to be housed. I don't understand. Ordering Skid Row to be housed. Oh, ordering all the people in Skid Row to be housed within 6 months? Is that what you're saying? That's crazy. That's a lot of people. We need to do more for the homeless. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say that because as much as I want to, and I do think that there are a lot of them out there. They do not want to be there. If given the opportunity, I do think a lot of them would take the opportunity and go with it. I think sometimes you dig such a hole that eventually it's impossible to get out of, right? I understand that. So I think a lot of them are in that situation, but I do think there are also, I think it's a mixed thing. Some of them are mental health things, right? And in those conditions, there it's that we need to do more for the mental health, right? It's not really the homeless, it'd be the mental health problems. Um, because I'll tell you what, like when I go to jail, I couldn't tell you how many times there'd be people in there that shouldn't be in there. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing in here? He's obviously seriously mentally handicapped. but yet he's in jail. Like, think about that. The guy doesn't even understand crime, and he's in jail for a crime that he's not even fit to fucking decide whether or not he did. Anyways, but I do think though there are some that just, there's always going to be that, right? There's always going to be the squatters, the people that don't want to do shit, that just fucking are bums. And for those, what are you going to do, right? What the fuck are you going to do? Way too many veterans on the streets. Yeah, I think just like with the mental health, I think that's an issue. I think that's a big issue. And there's some places you go, and it's crazy how many there will be. It's like, wow, how it's like it doesn't even make sense. It's sad, but fucking it's sometimes they're there because I'm not gonna say chose, like I decided to be here, but their decisions led them there. Then there are a lot that it's actually shit's happened to them so many times that now they're there. Government grants all these abandoned malls across America for homeless shelters. Usually the homeless shelters, like I know the ones not where I'm at now, but where I used to be, they were shit, man. They didn't have like there were churches that opened up their facilities, but there was always rules, and usually they couldn't, like a lot of them couldn't abide by the rules, like weird stuff. And then like sometimes they'd be too full, so they wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't be able to take them. Just lots of conditions. But yeah, I think that's awesome that malls do that and places do that. I think it's awesome that stores and grocery stores donate money, or not money. What am I saying? Donate their food to the food banks, because I know for fucking like 2 years I had to do that. I stood, not even talking about as a kid, but as an almost adult, I had to, stand in food line and get food and fill up a box of, basically the food that the stores donated to shelters and stuff like that to give to the people that couldn't afford groceries. So, yeah, I think that's awesome that places do that, and they usually donate them to churches, and then the churches do like every Wednesday at 9 o'clock or something. You can go there, you can eat a meal, and you can get a box, and you can fill up some food as long as you live in that city. And if you don't have an ID, they'll still let you do it. They just won't let you keep coming back. You can go a couple times. They're going to make sure you get food, and they're going to make sure they feed you, but they're not going to house you there, and they're not going to let you keep coming back unless if you can kind of prove that you live in that area. There are way too many restrictions on alternative housing, restrictions on tiny homes, and not allowed to live that van life, etc. Yeah, I remember seeing that video where that guy donated all those little homes to the homeless people in California, and then they started confiscating them. And then they opened up a parking lot or something, and he had paid like $1,300 a piece or something for them. They were like little tiny, tiny homes. I thought that was such an amazing thing until they all got booted, and then their houses got repossessed, and then they just stacked them up in a parking lot, like. But then they wound up giving them back or something like that. I don't know all what happened. So where's Rocky? Oh, did we hit that number? Where is Rocky? Where is there she is. Oh, Rocky. I got the Ariana I want to show here in 1 second. Oh, Rocky. Let's see if we can get some of this finish. Oh, she's pretty. She is a beautiful knife, though, ain't she? Man, that's a beautiful knife. Can you imagine if they made a budget version of this? Like, how they have all these knives, the Demko AD20, the this, the that. If they came out with 150 or $100 rock stud, a budget rock stud, can you imagine? It doesn't have to be a polished blade, but like a stone washed blade or something, just like the same Earls with a clip though. Ooh, that'd be sweet. My best knife currently, let me click on that. That's awesome, Mark. I've been doing it for 12 years at my grandma's apartment. I help everybody there who can't do it for themselves. That's amazing. That's awesome, man. Um, my best knife, damn it. Oh, I messed up. There we go. Tyler says my best knife currently is my ZT0452 carbon fiber. So me getting my Slysz, I'll see a new level of pristine. Yeah, completely different knife too. You're gonna get the slow roll effect. So like the 0452 is gonna be flipping action. So you get that really nice flipping action. The Slysz Bowie is that great slow roll action. Don't get me wrong, you can flick it. And the thumb flick's even better than the reverse flick. But it's very smooth on a different level. So I'm thinking about modifying this. I'm thinking about doing I thought about doing a couple things, but one thing I'm thinking about doing is making a cutout right here on the micarta, because they don't have it doesn't have a cutout. It's just flat right there. You know, they don't have a cutout, so I'm thinking about doing that. Um, I thought about doing a couple other things, but I think that's all I'm gonna do. I don't know. We'll see, because it's pretty awesome the way it is. It's already awesome. Even without modifying it, it's awesome. And I don't want to change it too much because it's so awesome. I did think about throwing some Gillian bearings in there, but it's already so smooth. But I think I might do that. I don't know if you guys seen it, but talking about sharpening super steels. Wait, Jared's supposed to show the rocks at like 40 likes, but I was driving home tonight, so I wasn't able to keep up with my duty. It's all Breeze's fault. So sharpening super steels. So I'm sure you guys have heard this before, that with certain steels, high carbide steels, you should sharpen them with diamond stones or plates. And the reasons why is when it has large or high carbide volume in the steel, the aluminum oxide or some natural stones aren't quite hard enough to sharpen the carbides, and it winds up leading to carbide tear out. Well, there's been people in the community, some disagree. Some people totally disagree, and because you can sharpen M390 and 20 CV with an aluminum oxide. I've done it many times. Got a very sharp edge. It's not whether or not you're going to get a sharp edge. It's how long that edge is going to last. So Outpost 76 recently did a testing, man, what steel was it? I forget exactly what steel it was. I don't remember, but it was a super steel. So he sharpened one with diamond, two with diamond, two sharpenings with diamond. I think one was freehand, and I think one was on the KME or something like that. I forget. Anyways, the point is he also did aluminum oxide, and I think that was it. Anyways, but the score did show that it wound up getting like two. I don't want to say the exact number. Watch the video, but it was a significant amount of cuts, less than the diamond stone. And I would say it's because of that reason, because the aluminum oxide stones aren't as hard, even though you could say ceramic stones that's made from aluminum oxide, and you could say sapphires are made from aluminum oxide, but there's still probably a level of hardness that the aluminum oxide that's in a sharpening stone does not get to that that a ceramic stone is, or that a sapphire is. It's just not there yet. It's kind of like diamonds are made from coal. You know, you guys have heard that or whatever. Same concept, right? So the aluminum oxide stones for super steels, can you sharpen them? Yes. Will they get sharp? Yes. Will they be able to work just fine as a knife? Yes. But you're going to get better edge retention by using diamond stones for super steels. Now, budget steels and carbon steels, stuff like that, aluminum oxides and natural stones are great for. I actually recommend for carbon steels, aluminum oxide stones or a natural stone over diamond. I personally don't think diamond stones do an amazing job, but I can't say all, but a lot of you know regular carbon steel. Maybe some, but not all. A lot of them will do way better with an aluminum oxide or some type of stone like that. Wallaby says, I also have to get going and get ready for bed. Thanks for the live, Jared, and good night, everyone. Thank you, Wallaby. Thank you for always coming and helping out, bud. Thank you. Have a good night. Oh, couple things before, what time is it? We got a few more minutes. Couple things. So this was just a thought. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I might, because it seems like a really good idea. The Shuro Goroff F3R. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but these, this has the carbon fiber scales. Amazing scales. Love the scales. Contoured, probably the most comfortable knife I've ever felt in my life. I love this knife, but they make fat carbon scales and like some crazy badass scales for this knife. I'm sure they're fucking expensive as shit, but damn it, do they look sexy. I mean, like some really cool. And I've never had any scales like that. I've never had any of the fat carbon or, like the real beautiful carbon fiber scales. I thought about micarta because I love me some micarta, probably even more than any carbon fiber. But, but it would just look so good. One of those colorful carbon fibers, like with the purple, or maybe the purple and green, or the really bright green ones, or the bright blue one. I don't know which one, but damn it, that would look so. And the contoured, like not flat scales, literally just like these scales, the exact copy of these scales with the contouring and everything, but a very colorful carbon fiber. Purple, maybe. Purple and green, maybe. Sounds badass to me. Sounds badass to me. I don't know how much they are, but I thought about pricing some out and seeing. What was my first $200 knife? It was a Tuya Envy. Tuya Envy 1. I have the 2 too, but my first one was the DW1 Tuya Envy. Technically it was the zero tolerance 0450, but that's under $200. We got it for 170. So that was close, the closest one before that one. Yeah, purple and green would be sick, right? Um, and you can imagine, because if you know fat carbon, oh man, those colors, the way they mix and the way they play with the light, it just seems so badass to me. Even blue would be really cool, or any colors really. Any of them would be amazing. And then what do you do when, if you had, like, I like micarta better than carbon fiber. I just do. But if you have like the choice between that fat carbon, the beautiful, best cut, best colors, perfect setup, blah, 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 or the micarta. Which one do you do? Because, and I'm talking about like the best kind of micarta, like your favorite kind, whatever you could think of as your favorite kind. It's like, what do you do? I think on a knife like this, don't get me wrong, the micarta would probably be, I almost feel like I'd want the carbon fiber, but then regret not getting the micarta. And if I got the micarta, I regret not getting the carbon fiber. I just think with a knife like this, that color combination would just pop in the right ways. Like there's some knives that you look at and you're like, micarta. Micarta would be the best option for that. With this, I think fat carbon. Just the way it looks, it's so sexy and it's so badass. I mean, it is a Shiro Gorov, but yeah, man, I don't know. I really wish this Arion came in their other micarta. I would way rather have, rather than this micarta, have that other micarta they have, because Artisan has really good micarta. The stuff that's on the CJRBs, like their green micarta or that mixed color, whatever it is, the one that's on like the Ria. I can't think. I think it's like a brown or a green micarta. I would love to have some of that on this. I would rather have that color combination with this. I think it would just look a little more put together. Don't get me wrong. I like this micarta. I just love that color a little bit better. What does micarta feel like, just for a point of reference? Um, Hard cloth. It's made out of cloth. So it's cloth and resin put together and bonded into, a form or into a mold, whatever you want to call it. So it's hard, like plastic hard, but it's soft at the same time. Like denim micarta actually feels like denim. It's like rub your jeans. That's what denim micarta feels like. This type of micarta this is still nice and fluffy. Like I still feel the texture, but it's still hard. So if that gives you a good reference, or a good thought, it's soft and warm. That's one thing. The temperature of it is different. Like if you grab titanium, right, it's cold. It's usually cold in the hand. Micarta is always warm in the hand. Like G10 can be cold. That's another thing. So that's a little bit of something different than G10 from micarta. Like right now, if I grab this knife, it's cold. When I grab this knife, the micarta on it's actually warm. It like holds like a temperature. I like the micarta scale you had on your non-flipper XM. Yeah, okay, I still got. I don't think I did a review on this one. I don't. Maybe I did. Man, I've done so many reviews. If I didn't, I only didn't, which I think I did, and I've had it in so many videos. But if I didn't, it's just because I had already did a video on an XM18 3-inch. But I do too. I love this one. But if you look at this one and this one's darker, a darker cut. Maybe this one will get like this one, which I don't mind if it stays like this or whatever. I like this one, and I really like the micarta. I might, though, if I get the chance and I had the money, because these scales are not cheap. But I might. It's hard to do this because sometimes you have a color and you're like, man, it's my only two. I only have two burgundy micartas now. I gave away the Biblio that we won to one of the Patreons. But green micarta, that might look a little bit better than the burgundy. Maybe. I don't know. I do have extra scales for this, though. They're all G10, though. I have one micarta scale for my XM18. That was another thing I want to talk about. I sent a whole bunch of knives to Mike Emler. So if you guys are not subbed to Mike Emler at Crazy Sharp, He does freehand sharpening. He's really good friends with Fair and Forge. He's got a YouTube channel. He does lives all the time. And really cool dude. And he's about to start doing a lot more videos. He already does a lot of videos, but a lot more knife content. So he does lots of lives where like you can just sit there and talk to him. Whoa. Scared the shit out of me. So, but he does a lot of lives where you can just sit there and talk to him. But he's going to start doing
Why are you afraid of me?
I'm not. I'm letting you
trying
in.
to put my head on your shoulder.
Oh, I thought you were trying to read something. But he's gonna start doing more reviews and unboxings and top fives, and he just did a knife collection video. Definitely go watch that. Mike Emler. Go watch his knife collection video. He has a badass knife collection. He just did it. But dude's got a lot of content. He's a lot of knowledge, a lot of knife knowledge, and yeah, definitely go sub to his channel and watch some of the reviews because I sent him a bunch of knives, some very new knives. So he is gonna get to do his impression or his thoughts on probably a lot of knives that you guys own or want or want. What?
It was like a you own or don't own. Dun, dun, dun.
No, dun, dun, dun. Big Daddy, what's up? Oh, what the hell? Mike's in here. What's up, Mike? Lurking in the darkness, always listening. I literally just logged in and you're talking about me. Yeah, we were talking about the whole time, Mike. The whole time. The whole episode's been about Mike Emler. There's Mike Emler right there. Definitely go sub to his channel and check him out. Jared, there's a yeah, I know. Did you see me jump? I seen it on the camera on the screen.
I flapped the blanket open super loud.
I didn't hear it, didn't nothing.
This is what I did.
I'm talking too loud.
Look, I went like this. When I came in, I went.
Yeah, but look at this when you do that.
I'm saying the noise.
I know.
You're so loud, your own voice. You can't even hear any of your own surroundings.
But yeah, I couldn't see the flap either. So when I seen a hooded person behind me, and it looks like black hair on the camera. I know your hair. She changed her hair.
I put it back to my dark color.
I was ready to start fighting, guys.
A very, very slight tint of like a plumish purplish reddish. But it's basically back to my normal darkness. Like my soul.
Like a burgundy micarta.
More plum.
Yeah, I guess like a plum. But when the light hits it just right, it does have those real dark purple hues, like plum, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, plum.
Yeah, plum. I'm about done.
I'm gonna go eat some yogurt. I just want to say hello and remind you that you're not spending $1 million on some weird micarta scales.
Well,
I heard that.
Wow.
I heard a lot. Every single minute.
We ordered a couple Slysz Bowies to sell on the secondary market.
An RV and you're out here trying to buy my car.
But yeah, we were talking about your knife collection, Mike.
Mine?
No, Mike. There's my book.
Why don't you want to talk about mine?
You want to talk about yours?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about it. What about it?
I have one.
What's your favorite knife in your collection?
Right now?
Yeah, for the moment. Not tomorrow, right now.
I've been carrying that freaking shard a lot lately. The Kaiser shard, which I don't know what you've done with it at this point. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about.
Where is she? You always... Here it is. This bad boy right here.
But that's not your favorite, though.
Right now it is.
Okay.
Like, it's my most carried.
In this moment, she's been loving this.
Yeah.
But
it cuts so well.
You were carrying something else for like a week, though.
I know.
What was it?
I'm trying to think. It was the
I know you were carrying the Malaya for a little bit. Then
yeah.
you went to something else.
Well, I mean, I had my Techno 2 phase there for a little bit.
No, I'm talking about just recently.
Oh, are you thinking about this bad boy?
No.
Because I was.
No. Doesn't matter.
Show them this
Forget
stuff.
about it. They know about this.
I know, but it's so underrated. I feel like people forget.
Kubi just got a hold of us. They're going to send us a couple knives. which is cool because there are a couple knives I haven't checked out. Not one I think is carbon fiber.
Is it that?
No, what? Don't worry about it. Just forget about it. Just forget about it.
It's bothering me.
Just forget about it. You don't remember. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out, watching, and chilling with me, and talking shit with me. You guys know I love this. Hopefully, we'll have Bama Knife Guy on soon. He's probably not in here no more, but I'll talk to him personally and see if we can't set up a good time. Very fun dude, funny as hell, and should drive me nuts back there. I love you guys. Peace. You're not gonna sing?
It's a dance. It's an interpretive dance.